afternoon, guys. Now it has been a good minute since I saw you guys last. 2 weeks to be exact. I apologize. We had a few kids, or one kid gets sick, and then for some reason it causes a chain reaction, and then all the kids are sick. So that's what's been going on. It kind of happens when you have a family of 7, but I think I'm going to bring the majority of them in. Probably this whole bed. I don't know. The banana tree stays out because I'll cut it back. But the elephant ears, the palm trees, and the bird of paradise will come in. So, not a whole lot going on in the greenhouse either. We got 1 tomato, well 2 tomatoes growing. You guys remember I made the beds on the end there. I just put wood chips down. In theory, I'm hoping that would just help keep the plants warm during the winter. We still haven't decided how we're going to heat this thing. I want to do a wood stove, but I don't want to lose floor space. But I've seen people use bags of leaves and wood chips outside the greenhouse. You can look it up on YouTube, it's out there. So basically on this end where we have this big screen, double screen window, I would take pallets, stand them up, make a little box outside, and then fill it up with wood chips and compost, and then open a hole at the bottom of the greenhouse there and try to pull that heat in from the pile and heat it that way. But if it doesn't work, then I gotta throw in a wood stove. Our Rose of Sharon cuttings are taking off. They're all doing great except for probably 1 or 2. So, and then this is our mulberry tree. We only got 1. We had 2, but I don't know if this guy's going to come out of it. At least 1's good. At least those potatoes we planted a few videos back in that raised bed. Look at this. These are the sweet potatoes on this side. And then our potatoes are in the middle. I forget what kind I planted. I have to look back on it. But it's filling out great. And I haven't watered it at all. It's crazy. So I said I was going to start digging up that bed and bring those tropicals in, but I think I'm going to wait a while. Weather doesn't look like it's going to cool that fast. Mid-October, I'll probably do it. End of October. I usually wait till like around Halloween. That's when we get our first patch of frost. So next week I'll do it when I got a better idea of where I'm putting everything. So in the meantime, there's still stuff to do. I was able to get some suckers pulled up from our banana plant. I'm gonna put these in the greenhouse. Now, so I broke those suckers off just so the fact that next spring, when that mother plant decides to come back, it'll have all that energy focused into that one big plant. And then usually when that happens, the way I cut it back and prep it for the winter time, it should be at least 10 feet tall by end of summer. And no, the rabbit house still isn't done yet. We're waiting on wire put on the inside and then closing off the actual house part of it and the door. So like those 3 things. It's open long enough. Made up my mind. I think I'm just going to plant them in the ground. I think in the 4 months that they'll be in the ground in the greenhouse, they won't grow that tall. If anything, I think they'll max out at like 3 feet. I'm hoping. And if they get taller, I'll just keep cutting them back. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna plant them in a corner. We'll see how tall they get. Like I said, I don't think they'll be past 3 feet. Who knows? Alright, we got that done. Now let's see what else we can find. Some more little stuff around here to do real quick. Okay guys, this is day 3 of winterizing tropical plants. And we're getting our baskets for our banana trees made. And then we can dig the other items up. We don't have to dig up much, but right now I've got 2 methods of doing this. You can do either one. I've done multiple methods in the past. I've used chicken wire and just some poles, like 1-inch poles in the ground. Alright guys, we're on our last day of good weather, and then after this it's bitter cold. And we still have to do our tropical plants and bringing them in. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm in the greenhouse because we got windy conditions all day. The wind gust, they said, is about 30. So I won't be able to do any talking out there as I'm digging up the plants. So I'll just tell you what I'm doing. We're going to be digging up our 2 bird of paradise, our 2 banana or elephant ears, building our baskets for the banana trees, filling those up with mulch, and then might wrap them in plastic, might not, we'll see. And then we'll plant some peppers in the greenhouse. I got more peppers that need to go in the ground that I am winterizing. I'm trying something new. And either way, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, the peppers die. Either way, if I leave them out, if I bring them in, just an experiment to see if they come back. So we're gonna do that tonight. But right now we gotta get all the other stuff done. And then if I do any updates, I'll be back here in the greenhouse with you guys and fill you in on what's going on. I'm rambling on because this wind is like crazy. All right, I'll see you guys outside. I gotta get all my supplies. Gotta get my buckets and flower pots. Actually, I just might dig them up and pot them up in here. Yeah, we'll do that. Usually I would just cut up these sweet potato vines and throw them out, but you always want to take you some cuttings so you could regrow this in the off season and have some for next spring. So I'm going to get some cuttings off of this and throw the rest of it away. Okay, so I know for some people it might be devastating or emotional to cut all this up and not get anything out of it, but my plan, look, we're going to get a cutting from each end right here, and that's enough to help this take off. What we'll do is we'll break all this back like so. It's perfectly fine, and put this in some water and let it root out, and then plant it. So we're going to do that to a bunch of them, starting in little pots. This might be too big. We might go smaller than this. But our goal is to get a bunch of little starts, at least 20 of them is what I want. That's overkill, but I want 20. That way, if you lose half, these started out in 4-inch pots. It's one growing season. Windy, I'm gonna try to do this. So I got everything ripped out. I got my bucket of sweet potato vines that I'm keeping. I'm going to do another experiment. It's all about experiment this season. I'm going to leave all this here in the middle, and I'm going to mulch it up. I'm going to put a basket on the banana tree, mulch it first, wrap it, and then put a layer of wood chips around the base here, and see if we can winterize this. I left one mother plant on the other side and dug up the other one. Just an experiment. And if it dies out, this will just act as a protective, like freeze barrier for the roots of the banana tree. So, yeah, that's it. I'm going to cut these leaves off and cut it at the height I want it and get my basket, and we're going to start winterizing this. A good height for the next season for banana trees. I did this in years past. We're just going to take off all of our leaves, throw them down below. We don't want to lose or throw any of this away. We're going to use it and help winterize this tree. I've done this years ago and had good success rate of my trees being at least 12 to 14 feet tall the next season by doing this method. So just right down anywhere in here, wherever you want. You can put it up there, up here. I like to get a good head start for the season. So what I'm going to do is cut it at an angle. But first, let's get the basket, see how tall it is. Make sure I'm not past the basket, so hold on. Alright, so if you see, I put my basket on, and it's right at the top of it. So what I'm going to have to do is, when I cut it, I'm going to have to cut down lower, because if I cut up here, new growth is going to hurry up and come in. So I'll just cut right down in here. It's not that bad. It's still good. So I'm just going to take that off, cut it in an angle, like so, and throw that inside. Because when it breaks down, it's just going to heat up and help protect this plant. Now, the plant's it's low enough below the cage to where it'll have that good layer of protection on top when we add the wood chips. So now all we gotta do is go get wood chips, fill this up, and then this bed will be done. All right, it's starting to rain on me. I'm gonna add straw first at the base, and then I'll get some wood chips and leaves. In the past I've used leaves and it worked great, so I'm kind of worried about wood chips. That's why we'll add some hay in there in the bottom. So let me do that real quick. You want to pack it tight. Super tight. I'm going to get more material. Alright, then I added some of the cuttings from the banana tree. That's going to break down and heat up and keep it nice and warm. So now I think I'm just going to get a bucket of wood chips and top it off. Buddy of mine uses just wood chips and leaves mix. So I'm going to try that first. Windy, but I got my bucket of wood chips. I'm going to fill up the basket and probably do another bucket around the base like I said. But first, we'll do the basket. We'll wrap it with some plastic and then do the base. So we'll do that real fast. Alright guys, that one's it. It's done. I got my mower to work, so I got some leaves to put on top. Just hit the front yard here, some leaves coming down, and put that on top. Now the other basket, we're going to do all mulched up leaves and grass clippings. And when we do that, we'll see which banana tree does better. So I already got some suckers off of this one up here by the front porch. That way, if that one dies, which I don't think it should, I really haven't lost a banana tree doing that method. But I've never done over 50% of wood chips. So we'll see. I'm gonna leave it uncovered tonight, and it's supposed to rain, and let some of that water to get those wood chips nice and wet and start breaking in that heat. Wood chips don't break down as fast, of course, as leaves and grass clippings, so there might be the issue with it heating up and staying warm. But we'll see. We'll try it out. It's 50-50 shot. So, and once it breaks down, I'll just keep adding more leaves and grass clippings on top that I got. All right, we're gonna do this other one. I gotta build a cage for it. So let me get all that stuff done.